like so many levels of bad. And so I went and I had my period and I went to the dentist and I had cavities filled.
It's like a story of hell.
It was a nightmare. So yeah, wow, I'm sweating. The sun is coming out. I'm sweaty.
Yeah, speaking of which, you all probably noticed that we have a pretty different background environment. Shout out. We are living the life of
People in a different tax bracket. We're at a really nice place right now. Coming at you live, poolside. This is Friends Living Well podcast.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air version.
This is a production from Full Living Wellness, which is Nikita's therapy practice that I happen to work for because she's awesome and I'm awesome, and we both happen to be therapists.
Hell yeah.
So I'm Kelsey. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst and a licensed behavior specialist. This is Nikita. She's got a lot of fucking shit behind her name.
Nikita Mahone, also known as Fajita Trombone. And I've got a certification or two. Essentially, if you're super traumatized and lost, and if nobody else wants to provide you treatment, I'm probably the right person for you.
And she's going to do a damn good job of it because she helps me with all of my bullshit all the time.
It is kind of amazing. Sometimes I sit back, like I'll end a session, I'll be like, I can't believe I pay my bills this way.
Yeah, for real.
Because I just like doing it. Like, what else would I do? I'd sit in a bar and do this.
I know. Yeah, we do that. We go to places and we meet people and we're just like, so let me just like peer into your soul like real quick.
They buy us beer and cheese fries.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So if you live in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Florida, we are licensed in those areas, so you can inquire. You can get a free 15-minute consultation with us if you're interested in figuring out kind of what we do. Nikita specializes in that trauma stuff. My specialization is like neurodivergence, working with parents, working with adults that are neurodivergent.
That's another thing that you've been doing a little bit more of lately, is more adult coaching, neurodivergent focused work. And
yeah, so like if you're a person that's struggling with like executive functioning skills, which, you know, I think it's helpful for people to hear those things defined. Executive functioning is basically planning, organization, starting tasks, following through with those tasks.
Procrastination comes
Procrastination, avoidance. So if you're a person that, you know, is neurodivergent, self-diagnosed, or actually formally diagnosed, you have some personal goals for yourself and you're like, I don't know how to go about it. I'm a person that can tell you, like, this is behavioral methodology to, like, get you to go where you want to go.
Hell yeah.
But, again, it's for people that are goal-driven. You know, it's somebody that's coming to me saying, I want to do this thing, and I'm sitting there saying, this is how we can do this together. So, yeah, inquire. Check us out.
Hell yeah, that's such a unique thing, too, Kels, because I think that's a big difference in therapy. Some of the things that we're working on might not have an end result, and I think that that's a really unique thing that you are offering by having people come in and say, we're going to come up with a plan, a step-by-step plan of what you're going to do and exactly what you're going to get out of each session.
Yes, it's very concrete. It's good for people that have tangible goals. It's not where I would tag in, you know, Nikita or an Ashley who work for Full Living Wellness. This is where, like, you know, you have experiences that are impeding your ability to kind of, you know, feel emotionally stable or have meaningful relationships. And that certainly comes through in some of my work as well. Yeah. So that's what's also kind of nice about what we do at Full Living Wellness, because we can do a tag team approach.
Right. We were even just talking a lot about this, of the self-awareness piece coming into this, of how you come to a place of focus of, okay, now we're ready to take action steps.
Yeah.
And how there's a lot of work to do, and even building the self-awareness for somebody to know which action steps need to be taken in their life. And that is a big process of therapy and comes in and out of your life.
Yeah, so we offer a bunch of different stuff. So if you like what we talk about, or you like us and you want to find out more, we're on a bunch of different platforms. We're on social media. But as a disclaimer, this is not therapy. This is a podcast. We're sitting, we're talking, we're best friends. We're shooting the shit, basically.
Just being real silly.
Yeah, we're just being silly girls by the pool. Our producer, Tom Alderson, is here as well. He actually has his own podcast called Irrelevant and Illiterate. It's a comedy podcast that also talks a lot about music. So if you're really into kind of like niche, like hardcore, punk, metalcore, like that type of music genre, they talk a shit ton about that. And he's really good at what he does. You can see, obviously, from the clips and stuff that we post, he's doing all of that. He does it on his own podcast. And if you're looking to start a podcast and you're really interested in like how to even get that stuff off the ground, reach out to us, because Tom would love to take on more clients and help you guys produce a podcast if that's something that you are interested in. So,
absolutely. It's one of the questions we get asked a lot is how do we make this happen? And we don't make it happen. Tom makes it happen.
We look pretty. We make sure the angles are good, and then Tom brings us all of our beverages and the microphones.
I do the rest.
And Tom does the rest. So
passenger princess of life.
literally. So yeah, we're not this isn't therapy. We're a podcast. You know what's also really cool is that we're also both affiliated jiu-jitsu athletes with Alchemized Fightwear.
Hell yeah.
So if you're looking to even just like get gear that is made in the United States, that's made for women, even if you don't train jiu-jitsu and you want to work out and you want to look cute and you want to have supportive gear that's like not going to be see-through, and it's going to be moisture wicking. Alchemized is great.
I just want to talk on I love Alchemized. First of all, the gear is amazing. Some of my most favorite hoodies. They have these heavy cotton weighted hoodies.
Such good quality.
I feel like
the hoodie's amazing.
I feel like they reduce stress. They're like a weighted blanket in a way. Amazing. And then the rash guards, name a softer rash guard.
No, and they're also
Don't worry, I'll wait.
The new
Hold your
one,
breath.
I don't know if you have the black one, because they sent me a black one.
I'm thinking about getting that one too, because I have the red set.
You have the red set, but I have they sent me just the classic black one, and the way that it like gives me an hourglass shape is like crazy. Because when you put on jiu-jitsu gear, like I don't really pay attention to like, oh, I look like my body looks good in this, because it's like I'm going to roll around and be an idiot.
Yeah, you're going to look bad in about 5 minutes
But
anyway.
you look good as hell in Alchemized shit. Yeah. So use our code Nikita10 or Kels10. It'll get you 10% off. That gives us money. It gives you a discount. You can also use it on top of stuff that's already on sale. So I know that the red set in the blue set are going to be discontinued. So this is like the last time, by the time you see this, it'll probably be too late. But
then they're coming out with other stuff, and I got a little sneak peek of it, and I can't say anything about it. But
a
Girls is a big Q, so get ready. You're going to want the whole thing.
Yeah, it's big Q. Maybe we should do a clip about our Alchemized thing that we just talked about.
Another thing is we have, and it's a while out, it's not until next May, I think May 1st through the 3rd, but Kels and I will both be speakers and present at the Alchemized East Coast.
And is it in May?
Yeah.
I thought it was in the fall.
Really?
I thought they do it in the fall every year.
I think that's the 10th Planet one. The women's.
You might be right.
I feel like that's the 10th Planet
She
one.
might be right.
I just have a memory of in October us making that long drive
I kind
out
of trust you. Sounded really sure of yourself, and so I'm just going to go with that. Whatever Nikita said, that's when it's happening.
We'll clarify and we'll put the dates on so that way you guys know, but we've been asked to go, so we are going to be there, and those events are always an awesome mix of jiu-jitsu and wellness events.
Yeah. So if you're like looking to make friends and shit, like if you're just like a person that you're looking for meaningful friendships and you're looking for new hobbies, you don't even have to do jiu-jitsu, but if you want to meet people, like come out. It's just such an inclusive event. I mean, we immediately connected with the owner Maya and her work wife Suli. That's how we got into any of this. So yeah, so that's all of our bullshit. Subscribe, like, follow, comment. Any engagement is really helpful. It helps drive our business. And we really like to do this stuff. We really like to talk because clearly we do it a lot.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, so life be lifin'.
Life be
lifin'. I don't even have a topic.
I know. Sometimes we come in with topics and things that we're specifically gonna talk on, and other times we just kind of see what the hell comes up.
Yeah, I think that it's something that I realized over the last couple weeks I've been feeling like not wanting to record, and I've been feeling pretty avoidant because I just feel like life is lifing, and it's a very vulnerable thing to do, to like come on the microphone and like talk about shit. it's a lot of mental energy, and as two people that exert mental energy constantly for money, Monday through Friday, it's hard to come on here. And then it's super hard to come on here and be like, I'm awesome, when life sucks dick.
Right? Yeah, like come on here and be funny and silly.
Fucking, there's a war in Iran. There's a war everywhere. Trump is doing what Trump does. ICE is arresting people. Like,
it's a lot of
like what else is there to say? You know what I mean?
Well,
it's
that's
like,
the thing of it. It's on the big scale of stuff, like all of the outside of your control, political world events,
Yeah.
but then it's also right here in our backyard and in our
Yeah.
personal lives and health and healing and
yeah, there's just so much going on.
a lot of grief these past couple months.
Yeah, and I think that it's really interesting. It's so funny, and this feels like a very Nikita moment, but I said to myself going into this year that I was going to focus on my physical health. And all of these physical health things have now happened to me.
Forcing you to.
And I was like, well, shit. Like, I kind of like...
Your body was like, you're going to make good on that one.
Yeah. And, you know, I really wanted to talk to you about this. I thought about bringing it up in the car, but I didn't. I had a moment...
Also, the fear that comes over me as I come to the last sips of, like, that's how I know I have an issue, because I tapped out of what you just said.
She did break her neck twice about coffee. Like, while we were driving here. It was 1 40-minute drive. And
caffeine,
we were talking, and she... I was talking about a super serious cause. And we're driving by Burlap and Bean.
We have great capacity.
And she literally...
She
She literally is at the passenger person to go, and she went like this while I was talking. Up against the window, and she's
That
like, I'm
cafe
sorry.
meow.
She was like, I'm sorry, I have a problem. And I was like, yeah, you do. And then I was like, quick U-turn to get her coffee and baked goods. But yeah, I had this moment at work this week. I would love to tell you about. I don't want to disclose too much information, but I did a very interesting assessment this week on a behavior that I've never done, that I've never seen before.
Ooh.
Very interesting.
That says a lot in itself, that it's a behavior you haven't seen before.
Super unique. Everything went wrong. It was just a total shit show.
In
like,
the session, everything went wrong?
Yeah, like I guess I had a vision of like how I wanted to elicit the behavior and like observe why it was happening and observe natural responses. And I didn't have the room that I needed. And so I was in my very tiny office, which made it a lot more unsafe. And the person that I was assessing was having a hard time, and I like offered them a toy, and they like punched the toy out of my hand, and I was like, okay, like, and I had this moment of, and I haven't even articulated this to Tom, where I was like, I don't want to do this again. I was literally like, I don't want to assess these behaviors anymore.
Tired of doing this.
Because I felt
this,
unsafe.
Grandpa?
Yeah, I felt unsafe.
Yeah.
And I have a concussion right now. And I knew that this was like in this person's repertoire, but I guess I just didn't expect to see it so presently. Like typically when I'm doing these, for the most part, for the entire time I've been at this organization, I knew it was coming, right?
Were you expecting that response within yourself?
No.
I mean, it makes so much sense to me that you would have that, but the way you're saying it sounds like you weren't expecting that.
No, not at all. Where I literally was sitting there and I was like, I literally don't want to have to, I felt bad saying it, deal with this. I don't want to feel unsafe. I don't want to, and that's like what I'm good at. I'm good at assessing those types of behaviors, but I had
one of the things you're good at.
Yes, it's one of the things that I'm good at. I just literally was like, I don't want to ever be in this position ever again.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of protective parts of you that make a whole lot of sense of why they would come up right now that are telling you.
Yeah. And then I had this thought of what other type of work can I do where it involves all the things that I'm already good at. And then I was thinking about and this is something I think I might actually act on. For some reason when I fall asleep at night and I can't fall asleep, I just have these ideas of like, I really should do this. And I have a friend who I used to work with in my undergrad. I worked with at another place, and she actually owns her own private feeding consultation agency. And she works miracles. It's called Focused Approach Feeding Therapy. Dina Kelly runs it.
Shout out.
If you pay her the money, if you can scrounge the couple $1,000s that it is to do her 6-week program, she will literally change your child's life with eating, and you will never have to worry about eating ever again. I guarantee it. I loved working with her. She's doing mainly telehealth consultation, and I kind of thought about just reaching out to her and be like, hey, I don't even know if you're looking to take on new people. You probably have to train me a little bit. But I liked working with you.
Not?
I have a great skill set. We could grow this company. I could help grow your company.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Why not?
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah. And anybody's lucky to have you. Your expertise and your passion in this
loved
work.
Working. I loved working with her. She loved working with me. I continue to refer people to her. So yeah, I don't know. That was it was a moment. It was funny because I had woken up that day and I had already had a dream about work. I had already had a dream where I felt unsafe because I have a lot of those reoccurring dreams.
Because you probably already feel unsafe going in, just knowing.
My body knew that I was not going to enjoy this experience before I cognitively knew it. And I keep, being friends with you and having these conversations has really taught me that keeps happening to me over and over again.
How easily your body will give you messages way before you're consciously aware of them. And then it feels so silly months later. We were like, oh, yeah, stupid.
Right? You fucking idiot,
dumb
bitch.
I think my body's always doing, just constantly waiting. So stupid. Catch up.
Yeah, so that was an interesting, but I have to say, concussion-wise, I'm really happy with how my body handled this week. Going there, dealing with that.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you didn't ignore that message, because I know that this role and the way that you've done it is something you've done for so long, and it can be so easy to lock ourselves into things like that. Well, that's what I've been doing, or that's what I thought I would do, but there's chapters to things, especially when you're doing very difficult and emotional work like this, where a role will work well for you for a period of time, and then you evolve, or for one reason or another, you're ready to do something different. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to listen to it. Who knows? Maybe you'll go back to exactly this kind of work again one day. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I don't know. It was just one of those moments where I just was like, I'm so sick of feeling unsafe.
Just listen to that.
So but I do think that it
I can't even help but wonder if that's part of the reason why. I mean, I know having multiple concussions makes you more sensitive too, but
my body is used to my body is so highly sensitive because I feel like it's been in so many survival situations.
That's exactly what I was about to say, is just I'm wondering if this is happening more frequently and becoming more sensitive because your body is telling you we need to be done with this for at least a while.
No, I agree. And I even have physical responses doing telehealth work with parents. I'll be in a full-blown sweat.
Oh, yeah. I get that with my high conflict couples.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's and I think that something has to do with sometimes you just need breaks in between. But also sometimes as a therapist, you don't know what the fuck you're going to get that day.
Yeah.
You can have a completely stable family or a completely stable person, and then all of a sudden it's their world is upside down, and you really have to pivot and respond to that. And sometimes you're not prepared for that, right?
Well, especially telehealth, because they're in a location and you might know you're safe, but
oh yeah, and it happened this week with a family where the kid was home from school because it's summertime, right? And they're having a hard time, and both parents wanted to engage with me, and they just kept, and I was like, look, divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
Learning opportunity right here. One of you go do something.
Yeah.
One sit here, and we'll figure it out, So yeah, just a couple realizations for me.
Is that what you wanted to bring?
Yeah, that was
We started from a place you were like, there was something I wanted to bring.
That was it. That was where I just really had this moment of damn, I don't want to do this. And then it really brought me back to, and this is what's so lovely about the work that we do, the work that I do is I have so many opportunities to make it what I want it to be. And there's so many different things we can do with this. And so I think that having lived experiences is what shapes what you want to do. And so I think that that's I don't know. I felt that previously when I was younger in my career, I was like, I want to do this and I want to do this forever and this is my thing. And it felt really devastating to me when that changed.
Your identity shifted.
And it changed out of my control because of another concussion. And now I'm like, stuff changes all the time.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
It might even be better for you. It might even include something you didn't imagine yet. That's my favorite part of it. And I totally get, that's how I felt after my surgery complications and my secondary surgery. And just, I remember the day after my second surgery to correct the complications, my email just blowing up with things about how many people I was meeting with and when was I expecting to get back to, and I had the same message in my body. It felt like a panic attack come up at first, and I could feel it. And then I was like, I'm not going to do that. And then I felt that calm down in me. And I was like, that's what that message is in my body. It's just like, we cannot go back to that.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the first times in my life that I listened to that message right when it was given to me. I could tell you so many situations where I heard that, and then it was like another 2, 3, 6 months.
You really acted on that quite quickly.
Right away.
But again, it's like those life experiences of like when I didn't act on this thing and I didn't listen to my body, like maybe bad stuff happened or my health suffered or, you know, whatever. I
had good support too. I mean, like I went to Yuri about it. I went to my mom about it. I went to all of you guys about it. And I said, this is what I'm thinking. I'm also on Oxy. So like, it just seemed like a little drastic or crazy. But then I sat on it for 2 weeks. And the longer I sat on it, the more sure that felt. And
speaking of panic attacks, my heart is racing. Do you have any electrolytes in that bottle of yours?
I do not, but I also have Prime drinks.
I would like one of those. Yeah, can you get me one?
It's in my little blue cooler bag.
Yeah, it's in the cute little lunchbox.
You'll see it when you open that up.
Yeah, I'm just like hot and sweating.
In fact, that can be another thing that we can try. There was a new flavor.
Ooh. So did I tell you that I bought all the individual elements of Element powders and I'm going to just make my own instead of buying the packets?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on...
She was that Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the magnesium. Which one? Do you want to... Which one is the new flavor?
This is the new flavor.
That one?
I don't even know.
Can you put that one back? Well, we can share that. That's got a cool... Like, it's got cool designs on it.
Take a chug of that.
We like Prime. Prime is good. It's got a lot of coconut water in it.
Yeah, it's got all the potassium, coconut water, magnesium, a little bit of salt.
What is that flavor?
I don't see any flavor listed on it.
It's got a very, like, limey... It's got a very... Curate your legacy to win, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I have no idea.
The strawberry banana one is my absolute favorite.
That's really good. Prime fucking rocks. That shit tastes great.
Damn, that's good.
Immediately felt better. I just needed, like...
Oh, I know what that is. What is that?
I know. Isn't it, like, on the tip of your tongue? It's not like a passion fruit.
It reminds me of a Capri Sun.
Doesn't it?
It's exactly what it tastes like, a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
So it's like a fruit punch. It's got, like, that pineapple-y, orange, cherry...
Yes, it tastes like fruit punch. Mm-hmm. She's a fucking flavored genius. I don't know how she does that shit.
Have a binge eating disorder. Eat a lot of food. That song, Have a Baby by Me. Baby Be a Millionaire.
Oh, hey, she is a binge eating group. If you're struggling with binge eating disorder.
Yeah, I've been really bad about advertising for that. So, but we do have a group coming up on the 10th. It's starting
10th of July. Yeah, Nikita's going to be facilitating that. Ooh, Tom's taking his shirt off. Hell yeah.
Okay, you should chug the rest of that.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Our groups are really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's called Nourish. It's building a healthy relationship with food. It's going to be my favorite thing about groups is you go into it with a specific topic or thing that everybody has in common that they want to work on. But it's always the people that are in the group that help focus things and take it in a different direction than maybe you were expecting. So I'm excited to see where everybody wants to go with it. But I'm planning on us going back in time a little bit, figuring out like how did everybody start building a relationship with food, maybe start soothing with it, controlling with it,
Yeah.
what it's meant for them, what they want it to mean.
Yeah, I love that.
And then we're also going to be having, and I think this is a place where both of our groups are going to intertwine a little bit. We're going to have monthly socializations. Hi, Lily.
This is Lily. Lily's our guest star.
Hi, baby.
She's very soft and cute and a sweet little baby.
It's so snuggly.
Yeah.
She does the head press like Hopi does.
Yeah, she love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
That's a good girl. Look at her. She's just leaning her whole body weight into you. That's so cute.
Love her.
You don't like it? What? What? Oh. Not for you?
That hit the spot for me.
Hi, baby. Yeah, that's really good. Hey, for all the girlies, all the POTS girlies, all the SSRI girlies, drink your fucking electrolytes, y'all.
Yeah. Did I finish even saying that, my thought a second ago? Because I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope, didn't even finish it. Anyway, so Kelsey and I's group is going to have a melt over where we're going to have monthly in-person social meetups. So we're going to go for like a walk in the woods, or maybe do a little bit of yoga in the park or something like that. Something that's not intimidating, because I don't want anybody to feel like, oh shit, now I have to show up like ready to work out or be in shape. And I want the focus to be just people meeting one another and socializing a bit.
Yeah, the goal is like not that all good interactions are just contained into us being around each other in the group. It's we want you to build community, because we know how much community and social support supports mental health.
Absolutely.
And so I think that that's like a big thing is, you know, it is what you want it to be, right? If you want to come and you want to like just meet virtually and you just want to chat with people virtually, you can do that. If you want to meet in person, also awesome.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are looking for that, so.
Yeah, and for social group, we're going to go, we have an outing planned, so I just have to finalize some of that stuff with the outing.
So fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. We have a lot of people with special interests, like in animals and insects. Yes. So we're going to go to the zoo, and that's going to be super fun. I just want to, like, exist, like, together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel it's funny. Somebody shared something with the group that, like, we all didn't know. It was, like, a very mundane fact, like, where they grew up. And none of us knew that they had, like, moved around as a child. And everybody in the group was like, oh my gosh, like, how did I not know that? Right? So I just, like, I see the connections blossoming and blooming, and it's just really nice to see, like, how much random people have in common and, like, enjoy each other.
Build like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cool experience. I feel very blessed to be a part of that.
Heck yeah. And the feedback from your group is so good, too. You can just see the impact it's having.
It's fun, yeah, and it's really fun. Yeah. I just love it. Yeah, so that's a really good thing that we got going on. Yeah, I didn't really have a topic to talk about today, but just download. How many mins are we at? Okay.
What should we talk about?
Yeah, we gotta fucking beef this shit up.
We gotta find a topic. Did I write something?
Oh, you know what we were gonna do? We were gonna do a spotlight of an organization or resource that we were really interested in, and the spotlight that we were going to do was for the Lotus Center for Wellness.
Yeah.
We had the honor of meeting Lewis, who runs the Lotus Center for Wellness.
Lewis is awesome.
Lewis is super cool. I just want to kind of read a little bit more to you guys about what his specializations are. He predominantly supports Black and LGBTQIA plus folks.
In the Upper Darby area, too.
In the Upper Darby area, specializing in racial and identity-based trauma, religious and spiritual challenges, and complex PTSD. He is just an awesome human. We really connected with him. A lot of our goals align. You know, a lot of our approaches align, and just talking with him. And he's really looking to give back to the community. I believe that he has in-person center, and what's super cool about that is I believe that has a food cabinet, a food cupboard, and I think is able to like get books, and like I think that he has things there, you know, if you're a person who's looking for additional resources and you need food and you need those things, like he has that.
Such a community leader.
He's such a community leader, and he also it sounds like he does provide like affordable like access, so people that are living in the Darby area who might be like lower socioeconomic status, does seem like that would be something he's able to work with. So yeah, give the Lotus Center for Wellness a follow on Instagram.
Check them out.
Check them out. We just were really impressed with Lewis.
We should have Lewis as a guest
sometime. I would love that. Yeah, we have so many.
I'd love to hear how he got into his work and where that all started.
Yes, I agree, and it's fun because we have a lot of like a long list of people we really want to have on the pod, but it's just like getting those logistics of planning and setting a time and setting a date.
Little by little, we've got Laura Kent coming up as a guest.
I'm super excited for her.
Somebody else whose story I can't wait to hear more about, how they got started. I know who they are now, but I don't know how they got started.
And Laura, you know, again, one of the really great things about like our friendship is like we just meet these people who we're just immediately drawn to, and Laura is such a big supporter of ours. She's a really kind human, so looking forward to chatting with her.
Yeah, she's always looked out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, those are some people that you should follow and you should talk with.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff coming up. It's summer. We just went to the beach for a week.
Got rained in.
The weather sucked ass.
Yeah.
It fucking was 64 degrees and raining pretty much the entire time we were there.
It fit, though. Feels like such a odd time in life.
It felt like the universe was like, you know what? This is the only way it can be.
Yeah, I was glad it wasn't how it usually is.
Because then it would have felt weirder.
Even more odd, right? So.
And we did a lot of puzzles.
That's my new thing now, is doing puzzles at night.
Puzzles was like, we did like 4 over 500 piece puzzles.
We dorked it out.
In like 5 days. Tom hated his life. He does not like puzzles.
It's just nice. It keeps your mind busy in this way, like your hands and your mind, and then you're watching something at the same time.
It was nice. I just get frustrated. Puzzles frustrate me. And I had to do them for concussion rehab, so I kind of like hate them.
That's the other thing. Yeah, they say it's pretty good for your memory. And
it is really good. You know, I saw a statistic the other day that said 45% of cases of dementia are preventable. And you want to know why?
Yeah, why?
Hearing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That part of your brain.
Hearing loss is like a huge precipitator of dementia.
It's interesting.
And so they were saying like preventative care is like...
I also heard that.
Yeah, is getting fucking hearing aids. So if you're like older and your partner is telling you can't hear shit, get those hearing aids. Help your brain.
She looks over at Tom.
I wish you could see it. He can't. Yeah. You're gonna rock a hearing aid a couple years down the line.
And still ask what? And still ask what?
Well, that's what happens when you're a musician.
No, but I do remember hearing that, and I was like, good, because I can't see anything, but I can hear everything, so.
Well, and it also makes me wonder, too, because I also saw something about schizophrenia that nobody, and again, I don't know if this is actually real or not, but like that there is no documented cases of somebody who's schizophrenic and blind.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Because there's also, I mean, that's only visual hallucinations. There's also tactile and auditory hallucinations. That
100%.
Yeah. So I would imagine that that's not possible. Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, me too. But I I'd seen that and I was like,
yeah, it's interesting though.
It's an interesting thing to think of, like, what are these components?
They're like, basically, if somebody's blind, they've never had visual hallucinations, and you're like, yeah.
Right, but they can still have auditory hallucinations and tactile hallucinations. Are you writing on the box? Do you want this notebook that I'm not using?
He's got his own process over there.
What are you writing? I guess it's not something to worry about. I really like this.
I'm glad. Kels.
Sponsored by Prime. You know, I really want you to start posting your Jocko recipe.
Oh, did you like that?
I loved it because I think that you could easily get a Jocko sponsorship.
Yeah, right.
The fuck do you mean?
Yeah, right.
Jocko sponsors a lot of people.
Just little old me
I'm
in my
just
kitchen
saying,
with my Jocko ice coffee.
you're already an Alchemize affiliated athlete.
That's because they just got special love for
Why
your
is
girl.
that? Why is that so far fetched? I don't know.
I do highly recommend. It's funny because I recommend it to a lot of my clients too, just because of trying to meet protein needs and eat enough in a day. Or
I almost asked you to make me one and bring me one
Yeah,
today
they're
because
so
I
good.
wanted to taste it. But yeah, Nikita sent a video tutorial to me and one of our jiu-jitsu teammates this week of how she prepares her morning coffee. And you know, I actually thought of you because I was watching. Did you send me a segment with Dr. Darian talking about microplastics?
no,
I saw a segment. He was like on The View or some fucking talk show, and he was talking about how like microplastics are in everything, and there's like a lot of studies about how microplastics can change your DNA, and if your DNA is abnormal, that's the basis for a lot of cancers and like all this stuff. And he was talking about how if you have old Tupperware that you can like tell what's been in it and it's like old and you know, like get rid of it because it's leaching plastic into your food. But then it made me think of Nikita because Nikita is always like, she loves her Chemex coffee system, and it's just drip coffee with like, you know, a not dyed filter, and it's glass.
it's the best.
So I just got one and I've been using that, and I've actually been making cold brew in my just like glass jars because it's so easy to do. Like, you don't, this over consumerism that's so popular is so crazy. Like, there's this idea that you have to have a thing for everything, and I like had that mentality when I was thinking about this stuff, and then I was like, I can pour grounds in a jar and I can add water, and then I can just pour it through a coffee filter into another jar,
And you're good to go.
right? Like, you don't need a fucking thing for everything. And that macadamia nut coffee from LBI,
The local.
I'm like blowing through the stuff. I
know.
can't keep enough of it. I wish I bought 5 bags. I went online to see if they sell it
That was a
online.
really good
They
find.
do not sell it online. So I thought about sending them an email being like, will you ship me
A
some?
special order.
But then I was thinking like, we should just go back and just do a day trip,
Yeah.
and I'll just buy fucking pounds of it.
Yeah, plus I need to go back to Buddy's anyway, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know why, but it tastes like summer to me. Like, that macadamia flavor is such a summery
just reminds you.
flavor. And I mean, I'm drinking it for my hot coffee in the morning. I'm drinking it with my cold brew, but I've been drinking cold brew for my first cup of the day recently because it's been so fucking hot that I'm like, I don't want to be hot.
I just want to sip
I don't
want
want to sweat. And I just, you know, I just be rocking the cold brew. I love it. It's super good.
Yeah. It's been my go-to for a long time. I've got that system down with the Chemex, and then whatever you don't use, wait for the next day. You got a little cold brew action
cold brew.
happening, and
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to break a fast. It gives me. There are some days when, especially if I am like struggling on that day, I might get one actual meal in, and then those 2 other meals of the day are my Jocko powder mixed in with like I'll put some magnesium in there, some
Crazy.
creatine,
I can't do that.
some like lion's mane type of stuff.
I can't do that. I gotta eat food.
I usually only need like one meal,
I
as
gotta
long as it's
eat.
got like a lot of protein in it, and then
Yeah.
I'm pretty much set to go.
I ate like I ate oatmeal this morning. I was hungry in like an hour.
Yeah, it's because it's oatmeal. It's got no protein in it.
Yeah, I always add, I use a high protein milk. I always add peanut butter to it. I'll add nuts to it. And I'll add fruit. Still was hungry.
Yeah, I could go into a lecture, but I was going to say, I feel like Tom and I, because Yuri has worn off on me. So, like, when
know.
I think of, like, eating, like, a high protein, I'm, like, eating, like, this much chicken,
Yeah.
and then I would have oatmeal, and then I'd be like, now I'm full. Now I won't be.
Well, I was trying to switch up what I normally eat, which is usually like 2 eggs, 2 pieces of turkey bacon, and then like a piece of sourdough, and I'll like put eggs on that, and that usually is like, and I've been using I got like heirloom tomatoes because it's like summer, so I'm eating a fuck ton of tomatoes, and I put like a slab of tomato on that. It was so good. That keeps me full.
Little vulture
A little vulture? I missed it.
above us. But I wish that stuff filled me up. It just doesn't fill me up enough. I've had to like really amp up my protein.
No protein?
Yeah. Like to crazy levels. I'm like at like 40 grams per meal at least.
Yeah,
40,
I mean, I
60, 100 sometimes.
I think that some people really, like have to amp it up.
That's what does it for me, or else my energy levels kind of plummet.
Yeah.
I used to just be like mindful, like, oh, I'll have some eggs or a little bit of tuna, and there are like you're hitting like 12, 20 grams, like it's not terrible.
No, I want like 30 grams at least.
I need.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, I don't even know how I got onto that topic, but
You asked me about how I make my coffee.
Yeah, I just love
and
coffee.
Then we got into it.
I love coffee.
Then we got into about 17 other topics because Kelsey's brain moves really, really fast.
It do be moving.
And Nikita will be slower to talk about things at times.
Do you think everybody really likes that voice?
God, I hope so, because you guys are, if you're listening, you're getting a lot of weird voices.
Yeah, there's weird vibes. We can't always be perfect because the world is crumbling around us. And, yeah.
It's fun.
I see Tom picked up his microphone, so he's about to say something.
Speaking of the world, what about that interesting New York Times article you sent me?
I didn't
earlier?
read it.
I didn't read it either because I tried scrolling through it, and then they were like,
pay for it. It's
Well, I
fucking
didn't.
bullshit.
What did you read on it? It was more so we saw a reel that was talking about it.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about, but then I didn't.
Damn.
I didn't read it because it's behind a paywall.
Well, I guess we're all not going to talk about it
Well, fucks them,
because we don't know anything. We collectively know zero about it, so never mind.
But I think it's a good topic because it seems like the viewers really enjoy our relationship type discussions, and it was all about like dating and relationships and like red pill culture, and
I'd love for us to talk more about that, like scenarios or just questions that people have about relationships. And
yeah.
Well, maybe I won't reference the article specifically because all I did was skim through it. But the thing that came to my mind was that it seems as though the culture of dating is changing because either men are not men anymore, finger quotes, because they feel as though they have to be cautious, and there's like guys aren't taking chances anymore, like they're not as spontaneous when they're not in a relationship yet, and that's kind of killing dating culture or something. Not killing it, but it's like kind of it's not good for it.
Or
And
it sounds like it's changing the culture.
It's changing, yeah.
what was your impression as to, and maybe not in the article, but just in general, when you think of why men would be cautious to take action?
I think because all you hear about out on social media or in the world, in the news or whatever, in the wild, so to speak, is who's done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever since the Me Too movement, sort of, it seems as though men, for some reason, as a whole, all might feel a certain way, like they're going to get in quote unquote trouble if they do something wrong. Like they'll get dragged if they send.
You'll be Me Too.
Yeah, or if they send like a.
Like I spun that around there.
It's so funny you say that because I'm like, everything that I see is men not being spontaneous and men like catcalling and like assaulting women on the streets, and I'm like, there's no cautiousness happening there.
That's both.
Yeah, I think it's both.
It's definitely, because I have a lot of clients that speak to exactly that. I have 2 people just this past week where that was the main focus, was on re-entering the dating scene after, and then because it's been so long, being really shocked at the culture that they're re-entering into.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Feeling this sense of caution because of it being so different and not exactly sure what's welcomed, what's not welcomed, when it's welcomed, when it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And And I do think that is especially hard for men. I do feel like it's like men are really under such a microscope
That's more like
when it comes to
That's-
dating, and especially dating culture, because there is so much like criticism, and because there's so many, because like men are committing a majority of like assaults and things against women. It's like that's already in the atmosphere, right?
always has been. Very
Always
sad.
has been, but now it's being really like widely talked about. And then I think that makes perfect sense to me, that then men that do not align with that, that do not engage in those actions, feel this sense of like caution of like,
Yep.
is this going to be perceived in a specific way? Like, how do I go about this in a way that is respectful and genuine, and I'm not like showing a red flag, or I'm not making you feel
It's
unsafe?
gotta feel like
Yeah.
one little mistake.
That's pretty much what I was trying to get at. Yep.
Well, that's why we're therapists,
That's
because
right.
we're good at summarizing. No, but I think that's so true. I mean, it's like they're like men are really under a microscope in dating culture.
And that's a huge, I think, thing also within like male ego, right? It reminds me, and I know you and I have talked about this, that's old fable story a number of times in our relationship of, I always struggle to remember the beginnings of it. It's like an old, I believe it's a Middle Eastern storyline where if you take a group of men and you ask them why are they fearful of women, they will say, well, we're afraid that they'll laugh at us and we will be humiliated. And if you take a group of women and you ask, why are you afraid of the men? The women say, well, we're afraid that they're going to kill us. And so you have this, both have these situations that they're in, but that idea of like humiliation
And it feels like, I think that there's like a level of like seriousness and caution happening on both sides of like,
Yes.
you know, but I think for women it's like this life and death feeling, this like feeling of survival, whereas men it's like, you know, how do I act and how do I exist? And
which is for them life or death.
which feels like
an
life or
interesting-
death, right? So it feels the same probably for both parties, but there's a reality for one party in which it actually is life or death.
Emotional versus literal.
Right, and I think that's where like there's that disconnect in the conversation, because that's like the perspective that I'm always coming from.
Yeah.
As a
Because
woman.
I mean, I've heard of like the nicest guys in the world doing everything right in the book to go up to somebody and just say hi and introduce themselves, and they'll be like told like, get away from me, perv, or like just exactly that, humiliated in a public
Yeah.
space, which is really hard for them when they're like, I thought I was doing everything right and I was
Right.
putting myself out
and
there.
women are like, well, you're a creep because you might kill me.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was on the Philippines Facebook group, and I
Love.
saw a girl screenshot an interaction with a guy and said, like, what is your opinion on this interaction? Super mundane interaction. It basically was like, she was working and said, hey, would you want to come, like, come to where my work is and, like, meet me there? And he kind of listed off like, oh, like, you know, parking in Philly and traffic in Philly, and then he said something like, no likey. And so many women in the comments were like crucifying this guy. Like,
Really?
it was like, oh, this is a red flag. That's an ick. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, driving into Philly is a nightmare.
horrible.
Parking is always a nightmare. Like, there's so many, like, people have reasons for doing things. It's not that he's like, and a lot of the comments were, well, he did not suggest an alternate. So, like, that's the problem. Like, he did not suggest an alternate plan, so that's a problem.
I hear an overall message in that of, see, I think this is the issue with most communication. Like, people say a lot of stuff and don't stop to ask, like, what's my real core message within this? I'd imagine in this one, it's, am I dating somebody or potentially picking a partner that has the capabilities where if I was in an emergency room and I asked them to find parking and come and get me, they would be able to?
Right.
Or are they going to be like, I don't have the ability to do that, me no likey, sorry, can't. Like, I feel like that's really the
Yeah.
concern of
Yeah.
seeing something like that is he capable? And it's like,
is
well,
this a red flag or an indicator of like absence of a skill
Yes.
or whatever? And like, I hear that, I understand that, but like, again, like this idea.
who likes parking in Philadelphia? Find me somebody that likes that. and I don't want to meet them.
And I really just hate this idea. And this is where, like, I really empathize with, like, men and what they experience with, like, under the microscope. It's like, imagine if, like, you were just fucking existing and you were stating a preference and then somebody screenshotted that, put it in a Facebook group, and 50 fucking people commented, ick, 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 ick. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, and then it brings me back to, like, you know, like, no knock to this person, but I'm like, why are you asking strangers in a Facebook group their opinions?
Oh, because nobody knows what the definition of a man is or a woman is or what these things
Well,
are.
you ain't gonna find it in the Phil Queens Facebook group, I'll tell you that much. So stop it. Be nice.
Do it so that way we can get these stories.
Actually, no, I did, like, I mean, it was good content,
That's
right?
how we...
But it speaks to the point of just, like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? But the
people
other...
are trying to find answers. Like, what are these things that I want in a partner? What is it that I should actually be looking for? Is this something I should be concerned about or not?
Right? Is this right? Is this my person?
Just speaks to how lost we are.
Lost as shit.
Don't know what kind of partners to pick, how to pick them, what's a good person versus not a good person.
We just don't know.
My community is an online community of strangers that I have. Like, that's...
Yeah, and so yeah, I think but it is very much two realities clashing in a lot of these interactions, right? There's this feeling of survival on both sides, but then there's a reality of survival for another side.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes for a lot of, like, angry, frustrated people because you feel fucking unsafe, right? You feel humiliated, your ego is challenged, your feeling of safety is not there. Mm-hmm. And then you get, like, just crazy conversations, crazy communication.
And it really sucks too, because being in the role that I'm in, I see all these conversations, and then I wish I could almost, like, introduce people or let them know, like, you're not alone, actually, or I know somebody else that's doing this exact same thing or sharing this experience. And it would help people probably break through this tension that everybody is sitting with a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Because I also think there is a sense of, like, loneliness in these experiences. And I feel like a lot of people feel very disconnected from others. Like, you know, that's that whole tagline, like, male loneliness epidemic. Like, I think a lot of people feel very alone.
Oh, yeah, just people in general.
People, period.
This feels like the generation of loneliness. We're the most interconnected that we've ever
been. And yet we all feel so fucking alone.
Yeah.
You know, and that, again, it just tells me, like, I don't know much of what that tells me, but that tells me that, like, the ways that we're prioritizing connecting isn't actually really connecting, I think, in some ways.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it feels like we're, I wonder if we're a little bit of, like, the generation that's, like, the learning curve generation. There's this whole new world of and way of being a human being that's evolving as we are speaking, and then we're the awkward generation.
We're like in between worlds, right? Where it's like we did grow up with technology, but not to the, like, it wasn't so widespread as it is now. So we have that experience of, like, socializing and connecting in the absence of technology, but then we also have another foot in the door where, like, we're actively using the technology and we are connecting with people and we're learning about all these new things that are happening,
which is great for us because then we have the experience. But then what about those that don't? I think that's where I think of is those that come after us that don't have that one foot in the door of experience without it.
They don't know what the fuck to do.
So then we're in a whole new world, and that's what makes it, like, we have a whole new way of being with one another, and we don't have answers.
Because then nobody knows what the fuck to do.
And then
we don't actually know what to do either. We just like talking about stuff.
We figure it out with you in session. We're like, yeah, that's a good idea.
We'll help you figure it out, but, like, no guarantees.
All trial and error.
It is all trial and error. But yeah, I think that's such an interesting perspective. Have you Tom been in scenarios in which you kind of were like, I don't know how to act right now, or, like, I feel like I acted this way and it had a bad response, perhaps?
Not in probably 8 years or more.
Okay, so not something recent.
Not at all, no.
Just
it's been a long time.
Not being on the dating scene in that way, or?
I think I was both both things. I was in my early 20s, middle 20s, and I had never been in a long, serious relationship before. I had no experience.
Right.
So in both scenarios, no experience.
Right.
20s being naive, don't really know what's going on, who you are.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have relationship experience, you can't apply anything. Like, what am I
Yeah.
supposed to be doing here?
Yeah.
Everything you do in your early 20s is trial and error, too.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a good reminder out there for people in their 20s. There's a lot of pressure to like have it figured out or know
No.
what you're doing.
Don't.
Don't do it. Don't have it figured out.
There's nothing to figure out because you're not going to be the same person that you were at 21. Like, you're not supposed to know. It's okay to not know.
And maybe that's it. We're never supposed to figure it out, guys. I don't know.
If we figure it out, then like, what the fuck?
It'd be pretty
Do
boring.
we just stop existing?
Yeah.
There's such a small percentage of people in their early 20s who, finger quotes again, have it figured out. They are either lying or they're like or they came from a situation that they're not that they're lying by omission. Like almost nobody has life figured out that soon without help.
Yeah, well,
It's not possible.
I can't even think of anybody that I know that has that. What's a scenario that you see that happening in where somebody's like, I've got it figured out?
No specifics really, but I've seen it on like social media, like on TikTok, for example. I saw one today. It was a still, and it was just writing, and it said something like, "I make this much money a month. How are you guys affording to live anywhere?" And there were people in the comments like, "I've owned my house since I was 21," or I have 3 kids and I'm 22 and we live like this. Like,
so that to you, those people making those statements feels like they're saying I have it all together.
It feels like they are trying to put out there that they have something figured out. Like we did it. That's for me that feels like either a lie or such like old school like boomer and Gen X like propaganda shit. Like just
I want
like
to know Nikita's thoughts.
like
in
we
response to that.
like we did it. Why can't you do it? It's simple. Don't make enough money at your job, get a new job.
That's
Don't
the
be
vibe
poor.
that they give.
Yeah, don't be poor. Duh.
I mean, it feels like it has to be like a one-off in that way. Like they might have that one aspect of their life figured out.
Yeah, because just from what you're saying, like that does not give me the impression that they're saying they have it all figured out. It's just an answer to a question.
This question should have never been thrown to me because I was not ready to summarize this either. I quit.
Don't quit.
I quit.
This topic ended.
Okay.
How did we get on this topic of
I just wanted to know what Tom's experience was as a man, like interacting with women, and if he's felt like he's been in a scenario or a situation in which, like, you know, he was under a microscope or he did something and, you know, it didn't go the way maybe he thought it would.
I'm thinking of a rush of clients that have had recent experiences or
Well, I can think of somebody that I know that like has had those types of experiences.
Heck yeah.
And I think that it's you know, I think a lot of it does boil down to communication, but I also feel like the people that are worried about making somebody feel safe are usually not the people that are making people unsafe. Like somebody who's worried about it and is aware that that's an issue or could be an issue or problematic, those are usually not the people that have share those experiences.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I asked Tom, because Tom is like very respectful. Like he doesn't take up a lot of space. He's very respectful of women. You know, and so that's where I was like, I bet you Tom hasn't had a lot of those interactions because
Right.
Tom is not the perpetrator of those types of interactions that make women feel unsafe.
You know, that even raises like a really good question. I wonder for the people that say that they're so cautious, I wonder how many of them have actually had personal bad experiences, or it's just a fear that that's going to happen based on
Yeah.
something that they've heard, or just not having experiences of putting themselves out there in that way.
Yeah. I would be really interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might just be a fear thing.
I think a lot of it's a fear thing, especially in social situations, because it's funny. I have this social group where we talk about, like, oh, there's a bug on my microphone. We talk about these situations that are challenging for the people in my group, and I think so much of this situation is like we just have to go do the thing.
There is a really big exposure difference of people in the past in social situations versus it feels like what we have now, especially when I think of COVID. I'm always being humbled a little bit by the impact that COVID has had, those years of isolation that people experienced. I know it was so different for everybody, but
Yeah.
that keeps coming up again of how isolated people were and then how we live in such different times of connection.
There's like a generation and a half of people that feels like they will never recover.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every single family that I've ever worked with has said to me, when COVID hit, everything changed.
There's like something about the exposure of being the way the world was before, like even just like stupid shit like Blockbuster. Like I remember, this is such like a dumb memory, but I remember like when you would go in a Blockbuster, like I was guaranteed to run into classmates or like local people. So like you knew, I just felt like there was a more chance of me going out and interacting with people in the world versus now I feel like I can go out in the world and not interact with anybody at all.
How about
awesome.
or I'll do you one better. How about going to a mall?
Yes,
Yeah.
if they even exist where you're at now.
Rest in peace, Exton Mall.
A
lot of my middle school, high school memories are running around the Exton Mall on a Friday night with $20 in my pocket and going into a fucking Hot Topic and buying Hello Kitty T-shirts.
I scrolled by like a dead mall
And it was fucking
TikTok,
Exton.
and it was Exton Mall. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about. No, I agree. I think it's like so. It's just so.
You had to do uncomfortable things. Like
Remember remember college where we would just like drink, like we would just share drinks and we would like. Do you remember just like kissing random people?
I did more of that stuff in high school. In college, I had gotten that so out of my system that I was like in my little zone in college. But in high school, that was like. I found myself in so many scenarios by just being like, okay, I'm out and about. And then you would just find yourself in this and meeting this person and in this scenario. And that's how I built my social confidence of, oh, I know I can handle myself meeting new people or meeting these kinds of people or indifferent because I've done it.
Nothing's planned. You just go out and you fucking exist.
Forced
and
upon you.
And you drink jungle juice out of a fucking cooler. You have no idea where that cooler came from. You have no idea what's in there.
Room temperature MD that just burns straight through you.
It burns straight through and you're just tonguing people in the bar. And
when you graduated, did either of you go to senior week?
Hell
at
yeah.
the beach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hell
did.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And I got a sweet deal on a mansion on the beach for me and like a whole group of friends that week.
Of course you did. That's so. Why is that so Nikita coded?
Yeah.
Because
There's a lot of sexual exploration that happened that week.
Yeah, I believe that. But it's like, it's so funny because it's like, and then on, that was our lived experience. And then you see like fucking kids on TikTok that are literally like buying their own gallons of water and they're creating their own individual jungle juice in there. And they call it something. I don't know. I fucking am aging myself. But they have a name for it. And that's how they can all get drunk to the amount of drunk they want without ever sharing germs.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how you do it, guys.
It's how you do it post-COVID.
Y'all are missing the point. You know those reels? I almost forgot this was the whole point.
Yeah, I made one and I got a lot of likes on it.
We should just be swapping tongues and then post. I almost forgot that was the whole point.
And it's just us like drinking jungle juice out of somebody's fucking belly button. No, that's so true though. God damn.
Yeah, I really wonder how much of them is just like missing out because those opportunities aren't.
But it's also funny because I feel like it also like changed things for me, especially going to like a show or a concert or something where I'm like, I have to like touch people and like people are sweating on me. And after COVID, I literally was like, I cannot believe I grew up going to Philly hardcore shows and letting sweaty, dusty men like sweat all over my body.
Just
like
DNA
I
all over you.
cannot believe I did that. I will never go back. Don't touch me, bitch. I don't want to be touched.
Says the girl that does jujitsu.
Well, that's different.
It's the exact same thing, just in a different environment.
It's consensual. I get to choose who touches me. At a hardcore show, I don't get to choose who touches me.
Okay.
No, it's exactly the same. I get it. Whatever.
I think it's sweet that you have this constant throughout your life of men just sweating on you. It really shows that that's what your
nasty.
preference is in
It's
life.
so gross. Men are so nasty.
I think you're the little nasty little gremlin.
I am. I'm sweating like a. I can't think of a good metaphor.
Well, why don't we take a break and jump in this freaking pool?
Yeah, how many minutes have we done? Oh, we're fucking done this shit.